Landlord decided to kick out a tenant with a beautiful garden that the person had planted himself and use the garden to increase rent? Well, get fucked. My friend Jake had been renting this tiny apartment for 3 years. The place was pretty basic, but it came with this small backyard that was basically just dirt and weeds when he moved in. The landlord, Marcus, had zero interest in doing anything with it. When Jake asked if he could plant some stuff back there, Marcus just shrugged and said, "Sure, whatever, just don't ask me to pay for anything." So Jake went all out. This guy spent hundreds of dollars and literally every weekend for 2 years turning that patch of dirt into something amazing. He planted these gorgeous rose bushes, put in a whole vegetable garden with tomatoes and peppers, even built these beautiful wooden planters for herbs. He installed a little stone pathway and hung string lights everywhere. It looked like something out of a magazine. I'm talking Instagram-worthy garden that probably added serious value to the property. Jake would invite people over just to hang out in his garden. We'd have barbecues back there, and everyone would always comment on how incredible it looked. The guy had a real talent for it. He knew which plants worked well together, how to make everything bloom at different times so there was always color. Then last month, Marcus shows up unannounced while Jake's at work, just lets himself in with his key and starts taking photos of everything. When Jake gets home, he finds Marcus in the backyard with his phone out, snapping pictures of the roses and the vegetable garden like he's some kind of real estate photographer. Jake asks what's going on, and Marcus gets this weird smile on his face. Oh, just documenting the property, you know, for insurance purposes. That should have been Jake's first red flag, but he didn't think much of it. 2 weeks later, Jake gets an eviction notice, not for being late on rent or breaking any rules. Marcus just decided he wanted Jake out so he could rent the place for way more money. The letter literally said the landlord wanted to upgrade the property for premium tenants willing to pay market rate. Jake was furious, but couldn't do anything about it. Month-to-month lease, Marcus was technically within his rights. But here's where it gets good. Marcus immediately puts the apartment back on the market for almost double what Jake was paying. And guess what's featured in every single listing photo? Jake's garden. The roses, the vegetables, the stone pathway, everything. The listing description goes on and on about the professionally landscaped outdoor space and mature garden with established plantings. Marcus is literally using Jake's work to justify charging the next tenant an extra $800 a month. Jake finds out because people started sharing the listing with him, saying things like, "Hey, isn't this your place? It looks amazing." That's when Jake realized what was happening. Marcus had planned this whole thing. He waited until the garden was perfect, took his photos, then kicked Jake out so he could cash in. So Jake decided to take back what was his. He spent his entire last weekend carefully digging up every single plant he'd put in that yard. The roses, the vegetables, the herbs, even the decorative plants along the pathway. He rolled up the sod he'd laid, took apart the planters he'd built, removed every string light. He left the landlord with exactly what he'd started with, a patch of bare dirt. But here's the best part. Marcus had already shown the apartment to like 6 different people, all based on those photos of the beautiful garden. One couple had already signed a lease and put down a deposit specifically because they loved the outdoor space. Monday morning, Marcus calls Jake, absolutely losing his mind. "Where the hell are all the plants? The new tenants are moving in this weekend." Jake just goes, "What plants? I took my stuff when I moved out, but it's worth more with all the plants. How am I supposed to get premium rent for a dirt lot? Should have thought of that before you kicked me out to steal my garden." The new tenants showed up Saturday expecting this gorgeous landscaped yard and found nothing but dirt and dead grass. They immediately demanded their deposit back and threatened to sue for false advertising. Marcus had to scramble to find new tenants and ended up renting it for less than what Jake was originally paying.